All right, hello. This is Belly Button Boy here to give you the real way to play Soraka. Like with most utility supports, the game pretty much starts with champ select. This isn't really a support thing, but an every champ in the game thing. When you're counter picking or deciding if your team's strong enough to move on, it's always good to consider whether or not if your team really actually does need a Soraka. In most cases, they probably won't. What you really want to look for isn't really what champions your team is picking, but whether or not if they pick good champs into their lane and get ahead in their own lane. Soraka's dream ideal situation is a team that can hold their own and get a lead, because she can take a lead and keep it. She's by no means a champion who can snowball the enemy team by silencing and queuing. She's a support. She can't do any of that. But she's a phenomenal champion at keeping their team ahead and making sure that nobody dies and everyone stays alive. Luckily for Soraka, even though she doesn't farm or do too much of anything other than heal, she doesn't really need CS because of her playstyle. The way that we're going to be playing Soraka strictly means that we're not going to be farming, of course. We're not going to be focusing on anything but trying to get those assists. We'll get into her playstyle after we go through her abilities, starting with her passive, Salvation. Soraka basically just gets a move speed steroid boost, 70% bonus to any ally champion who's below 40% of their maximum health, or at 40% below or equal to. It doesn't really fucking matter. That's pretty much it for her passive. We're gonna move on to her Star Call ability. That's her Q. Star Call, she targets an area and sends down a star, blasting in a circle, pretty much with the same radius of Zig's bomb. It slows and does a little bit of magic damage. You do want to use this ability to poke because of its hidden passive. Once you hit an enemy champion with her Q, Soraka receives rejuvenation for 4 seconds, and within this time frame, Soraka gets bonus healing effects on her Astral Infusion, her W, which also grants healing on enemy or ally champions. The healing effect on this ability, of course, with the extra boost on Q, does a lot. It's an extremely strong, this is basically the Soraka kit. The only thing about her heal, though, is that it eats up 10% of your maximum health. That is the biggest problem with Soraka and staying alive with Soraka, is that the main person doing damage to Soraka is her herself. Or you could say her allies. But moving on with her heal, she does get the bonus healing on her from her Q. And that's pretty much it. Max cooldown, though, this is what we do want to aim for. Late game max cooldown, it is only 2 seconds. Early game is only 8 seconds. Keep that in mind when playing Soraka. The cooldowns drop every time you level it phenomenally, but this is not something you really want to rush because, of course, it still eats away at your health. Maxing the W as Soraka only means that you're going to lose more and more HP early, which isn't what you want. This is the last thing we're going to max, or at least once we get to a specific point of the game, which we'll touch on once we get through her Equinox, or the rest of her abilities, which leads us to Equinox, or E. Equinox is about another castable ability on enemy champions. This time, it silences in an area, and after 1.5 seconds, or half of 2 seconds, I guess, it'll root an enemy champion. The root duration increases up to 2 seconds, and this cooldown is from 24, 22, 20, 18, and 16 seconds. This is the second longest cooldown ability in her kit, aside from her ultimate, of course, which means this is the main thing that we are going to want to max in lane. The silence has too much play potential around it, and it is the easiest way to try and get an assist, even though her Q is strong and it does slow enemy champions and increase her heal. It just encourages you to give away too much HP, which is not what we want. We want to keep as much health as possible while healing as much as possible. But we can't heal until we get our ultimate. Her ultimate ability, Wish. It can get empowered for 40% of an enemy champion's max HP. It's telegraphed just like Hearth Assault, or Hearth Assault is telegraphed just like Soraka. Oh, either way, it's a global heal for everyone on your team. Since she does get a hyper healing bonus for anyone who is below 40% of their maximum health, that is pretty much the only time when you are going to want to use this ability. Your goal is to take a lead and keep it, or at least maybe develop a lead. If your laner's low, or if you see mid lane's low, just take a walk over there and heal them. You do get a move speed boost. Utilize your kit. Bot lane is not your staple lane, especially before ults. Ultimate is where we do want to reach top lane. We can reach top lane with our ultimate. If you see a fight going on top, don't just try to save them just because they're low. Try and get some money out of it. We are a hooker for hire. We need to try and get some money out of this. Or otherwise, since with the passive play, sitting on a tower, staying back, we're not going to get that much farm, EXP. There's no other way for us to get our items and get to 3k HP, which is what we want. Playing Soraka, you have to go tank. Purely because of the passive on her heal, which drains away her HP. The more HP you have, the more you have to give. If you go full AP with Soraka, you encourage yourself to get targeted even more.
Yuka!